Hey there, this is Darren LaCroix with day 10 of the 90-day challenge. So if you're following along, the 90-day challenge is where you post something for 90 days, 2 to 5 minutes a day, a message that you have for your audience, a lesson that you've learned the hard way, something that helps people. But if you're a messenger, get your message out there. And so many of us need to find our voice. Well, the way you do it is by doing it. This is my favorite t-shirt because it's kind of the Nike swoosh stripe, but it's all made up by the hash marks. And that reminded me of the early days of my stand-up comedy career when I would just go do it and go do it and go do it because that's what I was told. Quick shout out to Dion and Christine. It was great to meet you yesterday in Austin, Texas. And what was so cool to me is that you guys weren't even necessarily friends. You were following. Hey, Sonia Beals. And what was really cool is that I found out that you had found the challenge in your feed and then you actually just went and did it. And that was like so cool. Sometimes we never know the people that we get to influence or pop an idea or a message to. So thank you for, that was so crazy. Just throwing it out there and saying, you guys, we're doing it. That was like cool. That made my day. But it's also a reminder to you guys that you never know who's listening. So it might get forwarded on, but find your message, get your lessons out there. They don't have to be perfect. So what's this reflection thing about? So it was actually this weekend when I was in Austin, I was thinking about some of my biggest lows in your life. So what were some of the biggest challenges in your life? Hey, Sonia, you started the challenge too. Congratulations. Cool. I want to follow it. I want to see what you're talking about. And ironically, Sonia, who's on Facebook Live, was there the very first night, the famous night that I was at Stitches. She was the one holding the camera. That's crazy. So thanks for popping on there, Sonia, and it's really cool you're doing the challenge. It's really going to help a lot of people more than we know. But if you're not doing it, if it's an idea in your head and it just sits there on your hard drive or in your head, it's not helping anyone. And so the low points. When I look back, it was actually the low points that I made those life changes that I needed to, that had I not been at the low point, I would have never made the change. If it was not for my Subway failure and having the business loans and the school loans still and living at home with my parents, I would not have been at such a low point when I heard that Brian Tracy question, what would you dare to dream if you knew you wouldn't fail? I'd be a comedian. How cool would it be? Well, if I wasn't at that low point, my ego would have been in the way and I wouldn't have risked it. Hey, Rick Weiner. Hey, Janet. I wouldn't have risked it if I wasn't so low. So sometimes, like, look at the low points in your life and ask yourself, what changes? Hey, Latasha, how are you? What changes did you make in your life because of that low point that you might not have made otherwise? I had another challenge last week that I had to figure something out, and I had done webinars before and they didn't work. They never worked, or they worked and they got this much success. And then being with Latasha, learning from Russell Brunson, and I was sorry, a call came in. Olga, who was doing the challenge as well and was at the ClickFunnels thing, and she's like, you need to do the Russell Brunson perfect webinar. And I was just like, I got a couple days. I got to figure something out. I got to try something new. So if it wasn't at that low point, I wouldn't have tried the Russell Brunson perfect webinar because I threw away everything I had taught before and the way I did things, and I tried it his way. I'm like, let me give it a shot. And it was the most successful webinar I've ever did. So thank you, Russell. Thank you, Olga. Thank you, ClickFunnels. But it was also, because I had known about the webinar for a long time, but I never did it. It comes right out of his book, Expert Secrets. But, you know, the big one for me was definitely the Stitches one. But sometimes we got to remember to celebrate those low points and look back and look at, did it make us willing to do something we might not have done otherwise? And is that still serving us today? So if you're a believer, you know, I think sometimes in my case, like, you know, God had to break me down and break the ego down in order to get me open to a new way. So however you look at it, those lows that you have in your life could be exactly what you needed to take a new path or find a new high. So reflect on your lows, think back, think what changes were made. Maybe it was a tough relationship, but something amazing came out of it. Maybe it was a friendship, whatever it was for you, but that low point, for me, looking back, those low points were crucial to the success that I have today. So I'm not even dating anyone, so I'm not having any sex. But anyway, this is Facebook Live. Yes, I can't believe I said that. Anyway, hey Gideon, hey Addie. So what are the low points in your life? And what are the things you learned because it was such a low point? So Sonia, ironically that you are on today, the fact that you were there and you were the one holding the video camera for that first night at Stitches. So thank you, Sonia. Thank you for always being a fan and supportive. One of the few people that were really supportive back in the 1992 Stitches days. So what is your life? What were your lows? Are you thankful for them? Reflect back, be thankful for them. That breakup that led you to that amazing person you're with today. Thanks. I'm glad you thought it was a great night. That was scary. Someday we're going to have you tell the story of what your perception was. But anyway, thanks for being here. 90-day challenge. If you got a message that matters, take us up on the 90-day challenge. Just do a Facebook a day. And it's at the beginning, maybe nobody's listening. That's okay. It's about you developing the habit. And you'll also develop your voice along the way. So join us to help change the world with this 90-day Facebook Live challenge. Inspire by example.